Hello everyone, I'm Gabby, I'm an INFJ, and this is Danny, she's an INFP, and we're just going to do a couple of videos contrasting certain things about INFJs and INFPs, because it's interesting. Yes?
Sure.
Okay. Alright. So, our first video is FI versus FE. So, let's start with addressing a couple of misconceptions about FI and FE.
Yeah, so basically what's been addressed on many forums is that FI seems very cold and FE is fake, or has been called fake. And also that introverted feeling is selfish and extroverted feeling just follows the crowd.
So, I guess let's start with the cold and fake. So, FI coming off as cold, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's possible. I mean, we do make we try to hide a lot of emotions usually, because, I don't know, it's always uncomfortable when people are up in your business.
Huh. See, for us, the feelings isn't necessarily up in your business, it's just how we communicate and interact with people. Like, you get proximity feelings, so if somebody's feeling sad, then you're automatically feeling sad because they're feeling sad, and you can't do anything about feeling sad because they're sad, so you try to cheer them up anyway, which is, I guess, why FE kind of comes off as fake, because it seems like a lot of times we try to meld to the other person and match our feelings to the other person's, which, you know, has some truth in it. I mean, we try to get people to relate to us on a feeling level so that we can make them feel better if they're upset or uncomfortable, because if we don't, then the entire situation keeps staying uncomfortable and we have no choice. Like, we feel uncomfortable if they're uncomfortable, so then it's just a bad day for everybody.
And exactly that makes introverted feelers uncomfortable and extroverted feelers, because they think that they're just trying to get them to feel better because it's making the whole situation uncomfortable.
It is making the whole situation uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it would be better if you just told them up straight.
But how are you supposed to... I mean, a lot of times we don't really realize, I don't realize that I do this necessarily. I just kind of go into this, need to fix it mode. So I know that something's wrong, and even if they don't know that it's wrong, I know it's wrong, so I try to fix it. And then they get mad at me for being in their business. But it's my business!
No, it's not really that you get in our business. It's more that you... It's more that you try to act in a way that you don't necessarily feel. So that we feel the same way, and you expect us to have those proximity feelings as well, when in turn acting all cheered up for us to get cheered up doesn't really work, it just annoys us.
I do kind of expect most people to have proximity feelings, and then I get upset if they don't. Like, if I'm upset, I don't necessarily like telling people I'm upset, even though I like to have help, because then it feels like I'm intruding. So I'm expecting them to just know that I'm upset because I'm upset. So obviously they can feel I'm upset because they're right next to me, so why wouldn't they feel the feelings? Because I'm 2 feet away from them. And then they don't feel anything, and then they just keep going on with their day, and I'm just kind of standing there but I'm upset.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think introverted feeling even works that way with proximity, any kind of proximity feeling. I mean, there is empathy, and if they look sad, we're obviously gonna feel sad. But at the same time, it's, I don't know, they just kind of can tell by their image they have of you. If something happens to you, for example, they can, I don't know, at least I as an INFP can tell that it would make you sad, so I should check up on you. Other than that.
That is pretty interesting. I just kind of get assaulted by feelings, and then I'm not quite sure what's wrong, and then I figure out that it's actually the other people's feelings. And then I try to fix them so that I can have some peace. And of course I'm actually, genuinely concerned about people if I care about them. But...
Yeah, you also said that you can't really deal with your feelings as well.
Yeah, I don't actually have much of a notion of my own internal feelings. They're all kind of vague and wishy-washy, and I don't really know what's going on in there. I'm very clear about what other people are feeling, but I have no idea what I'm feeling. Like, you showed me a video a couple of days ago about just, like, some piano song, and it was making me uncomfortable because it was giving me feelings, but I wasn't sure what the feelings were, so what am I supposed to do?
It's perfect for me. I just know. I just know what it feels like, and
I
it
know.
gives me. It's food. It's food
Food.
for introverted feeling.
Feeding food. Alright, so the empathy actually was an interesting discussion, and you came up with a cool analogy to look at empathy and how it's different with introverted versus extroverted feelings, and it's the marble versus paint theory that we're gonna throw out there.
What we came up with was that when extroverted feelers feel empathy, it mixes with their own emotions, and they can't really tell one from the other, neither can they separate one from the other that well, and it just kind of ends up mixed together, and it ends up making their personal, like, affecting their personal emotion, other people's emotions, and that, like, and introverted feelers can tell whose emotion is whose. They can separate it, and they can get rid of, and, like, they can turn empathy on and off. And we'll have to come to this later, but I've got another thing I wanted to address.
Right, so the marbles and paint theory works really well because, like, as I kind of mentioned, like, I get proximity feelings, so I can't really, like, distinguish my own feelings from other people's feelings anymore. So if there's somebody feeling something really strongly, like, let's say, like, I have an ESFP friend that continuously feels, like, unimaginable euphoria, and you have no idea what's going on there, but then I get super happy, even though there's actually not that much going on in my life, because they're happy, so I'm happy, and yeah, I mean, it's nice to have those people around, because you get euphoria all the time just thrown at you, but, like, you don't have your own personal feelings that are separate from other people's feelings. So if somebody's feeling really depressed, then you're depressed. And it's really hard sometimes because it's, like, you want to be around the people so that you can actually help them and, get them to a point where they're feeling better, but you can only take so much of them because you have to be depressed during that time. Like, there's no off on the empathy.
I think I forgot to make the link between that and the actual paint and marbles, so I'm gonna do that now. So the paint is supposed to be extroverted feeler. An extroverted feeler, the paint bucket is their emotions, and other emotions will add different colors of paint. So once it's mixed, it can't be unmixed. And what they feel is also partly what other people added to it, while the marble theory is that when an introverted feeler gets someone else's feelings, like they empathize with someone else, they can tell what is what, and they can sort it out, and they can turn one or the other off or focus on one or the other.
Right, so the paint buckets situation that the INFJs have, it's also like a source of, like, misunderstanding almost. Like, our empathy comes off wrong sometimes. Like, we think that other people may be feeling much more, let's say, sad than they actually are. So, you just imagine that you have, like, this big bucket of yellow paint, and you're feeling perfectly happy about your yellow paint, and then somebody beside you just has, like, a little splotch of blue, and then you have no choice about whether or not the blue comes in. It just does if they're close enough to you because you feel their feelings. And all of a sudden you have this entire bucket of green paint. What are you supposed to do with it? The blue might not have bothered the other person very much, but you're sitting there going like, oh my god, are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you? You seem so depressed, and I think that I can help you. Please don't be sad. And they're like, I just had a momentary thought of sadness, and now it's gone, and I'm fine. And then you're sitting there with your bucket of green paint, and you can't do anything about it.
The thing is, when you try to comfort other people and you act all cheered up, when you act cheered up towards me, I can tell that you're freaking out on the inside and you're trying to put on this face, and it stresses me out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, the outside is always happy and dandy and everything is completely fine, and on the inside you're just like...
Yeah. And what I wanted to say is that introverted feeling is named intensive, more than extensive, and extroverted feeling is supposed to be more extensive than intensive. So it's like introverted intuition and extroverted intuition. One's deeper but more focused, and the other is less focused and a lot more expansive. And that happens with extroverted feeling and introverted feeling too. So with introverted feeling, I can focus on one thing and not notice a lot of other things. And if there's too much of my own emotion, it overpowers other people's emotions. Like, I can't hear other people's emotions as well because mine are too overwhelming and too loud.
Right, so that would be more like the intensive type of feeling, whereas like the extensive type of feeling is more what I deal with. I get the feelings of everybody around me, so that if there's a lot of people or if they're feeling like very intense things, then my own emotions tend to get lost in that. Like, I lose track of what I'm feeling, then I have to deal with, everything else in the room. So conflict is just this big no for me. I don't like conflict at all. Most of the time I do like preemptive damage control, and then people don't really get why I'm trying to fix stuff that hasn't happened yet, but I know that it's going to happen because of course I'm on an intuitive too, so I just get the feeling that something's going to happen, and then I try to fix it because I don't like conflict and it makes me uncomfortable.
So you're like a cat before a storm.
Ooh, yes.
I was thinking that what if it doesn't work as well to preemptively fix something?
I get upset. Because I'm trying to fix something, and then if I can't fix it, then I kind of feel like a failure because I know it's going to happen, so why can't I fix it? And then I get upset that I can't fix it. And then I get upset about the impending conflict, so I'm starting to get anxiety about the conflict that hasn't happened yet because I know that the conflict will give me anxiety.
Oh my god.
It's not happening there.
No.
When it comes to feelings, my brain is just this disorganized thing.
Yeah, it does seem to be.
In all other respects, it's a Mac store. Everything's color-coded and very bright and